Good day, everyone, and welcome to Sparkles of Love's Transmissions. My name is Ana-La-Rai, and Sparkles of Love is the premier resource for spiritual individuals who want the fastest and smoothest path to your own awakening or to spiritual mastery. Our methods, our tools, and our processes come directly from Source, and they are new, evolved, and unlike anything else out there. So today, what we're going to talk about is this mine? The life of an empath. All right. And our format today is I'm going to share some information, and whether you're an empath or not, you will probably find it helpful. And at the end, I'll always answer some questions. If you have any questions, you're welcome to type in. And then we're going to do a download at the end of New Venation. Um, so let's get started. So first, I want to share with you that I am not an empath. Okay, this lifetime, I was not interested in being an empath. I carry a lot of energies of love and joy, and I couldn't hold the amount of these energies if I were an empath, because in my understanding, an empath is one who easily, without consciously trying, is feeling the energies of people around them, of everybody else's stuff. And so being an empath can be really, really challenging. Anybody who's watching now, are you an empath? Write in if you're empathic and let me know, because I'm sure there are some of you in the audience that are empathic. And I know a lot of empaths, and they have had a lot of challenges in this lifetime with their beautiful gift, right? Of managing that gift or sorting it out. So, we're going to look at a couple of main things today around empaths, as well as answering your questions. So, the first thing that I would tell you, being empathic, and if you don't know if you're empathic, it's really that you start feeling things, emotions that you don't know if they're yours. And you would find it more challenging to be in groups, with lots of people. You might find it lovely to be in nature when there aren't other people around, because it's much quieter and softer. And most empaths really have this level of sensitivity, whether they call themselves empathic or not, to sort of try and manage the energy around, or manage how other people are feeling. Does that resonate with any of you? Does that make sense to you? So, one of the things that I share with empaths, and when you're beginning your journey and trying to figure out if you're an empath and you start feeling things or you don't know, the most important question that you can ask is this mine? Is this mine? What I'm feeling right now, this frustration I'm feeling, or this anger I'm feeling, or this sadness, is this mine? And the funny thing is, while empaths can often feel a range of emotions, they tend to be tuned into the negative emotions of others. I don't know many empaths who say, "Oh, wow, everybody feels so great. Everyone's so happy." It seems like they feel a lot of the negative, the sadness, the grief, the anger, the frustration, all of those emotions. So, all right, yeah. So we do have some empaths here with us. So as you start to realize that you're an empath, or that you're living with this gift, you want to start to ask yourself the question, is this mine? Now, it sounds like a funny question, because those of us who aren't empathic, well, if I'm feeling frustrated, I know it's mine. I mean, who else's could it be? But if you're empathic, it could be anybody that's near you. It could be anybody in the room. It could be your partner, your child. It could be your coworker. It could be the person sitting next to you on the bus or the metro, right? So when you're empathic, it's much harder to distinguish what is yours and what is not yours because you feel so much. So the first thing you should do is always ask, is this mine? And sit with it and feel it and really start to tune in with your higher self or your highest selves and your guides and start to ask for some sort of sign that when you ask the question, is this mine? That you get some sort of answer, whether it's a feeling, um, a visual, a word, because you want to start. The most important piece is to start to distinguish what's yours and what's not yours. Okay? Because if you're picking up on the emotions of anger, but it's really not yours, but you're feeling it through your whole body, that's exhausting. Right? That's a challenge. And you can't resolve it because it's not your energy. It's not your anger. And so feeling all the negative emotions of people around you can be very, very confusing, very tiring, very frustrating in itself. So the very first question is to ask, is it mine? And from there, you need to decide, okay, so it's mine. I can just ignore this, or how do I release it? Or how do I not feel it is probably a really important question. How do I, this isn't mine. I don't want to be experiencing anger today. I woke up happy and feel light. I don't want to experience that. So, what I have always shared with people that are empathic that I know is what the guide showed me a long time ago is the easiest way to help them, though it does take practice, is to focus. And if you want to close your eyes, depending on where you are, if you can. And if you imagine one of the reasons empaths feel so much is that their auric field, their energy field around their body is huge. It's huge. They have come in and opened up their field. It's like if you had all the doors and windows open in your house and all kinds of birds and insects and people just walked in and out all the time, right? Like in a store. And that's what your energy field is like. You have it so open and so big that people are walking and moving through your energy field all the time. Does that make sense to you? Is that a good explanation for those of you that are experiencing it? So you've kept your field, for whatever reason, huge. And most of you don't realize that you can change that. You can change the size of your auric field. Okay? So instead of being wide open all the time, you can choose or manage how your field is, when it's wide open, when it's not, how much you're going to feel. And yes, it takes practice. It's a little bit like exercising. When you start out, it's harder to do and you might be a little sore after and a little discouraged sometimes. But as you keep with it, you get stronger and better. And it's the same thing with working with your auric field. Okay. And whether you're an empath or not, this process or attuning your field is good for everyone. Okay. And someone saying, wow, I think I'm really glad I'm not empathic. Yeah. So what you want to start to do is practice not on a busy day when you're feeling bad, practice at home. You want to imagine and practice bringing your field in closer to your physical body, your energy field. I call it the auric field, and it's all the way around you, front, back, over, under your auric field. Okay. Because that's what's happening. People are accessing your field. And so these energies are coming in and you don't know if it's your energy or their energy, right? And if you're in a busy office and your field is wide open, you might be feeling the energy of multiple peoples at once and can't distinguish them, right? You might just not even know, oh, this is mine or not mine. So, what you want to do is you want to start practicing, and I find it easier to do with my eyes closed, but you do what's best. And I imagine, and I call in, I imagine my field, my energy field getting smaller, closer to my body. So, I imagine that I'm pulling it in. I'm intending, I'm asking, I'm pulling all of my auric field up here, down at my feet, above my head. I'm pulling it all in closer to me, to my body. And I might pull it in, just a couple of inches away. Because if you're that close to me, you're probably somebody I really love, right? Because you're literally in my space, especially if you're in North America, because our personal space is much closer than in other countries, right? So as you practice, you pull your energy field in. And as you're pulling it in, no one else's field is coming, right? And you're practicing this alone at home. So like a muscle that you exercise, you practice, right? So there are times, and you look at how you manage it. If you are going to the mall, you're going to the movie theater, you're going to a sports event, you're going to a wedding, you're going to any kind of event or place, maybe you're going to school that has lots of people around you, you want to pull your field in, right? But when you come home, especially if you live alone, or you are going into nature, you're going for a hike, or you're going to go sit at the beach and put your feet in the water, or you're going to hike a mountain. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to be in nature. You can let your field go open, right? Because you want to feel that nature energy is very restorative, and there's not as many people out there, right? Now, if you're at the beach and it's crowded, you're not going to open your field wide up, right? Because you want to receive the nature energies, okay? So what you do is when you go into busy places, you consciously and set your intentions, and you call your energy field in tight around you, okay? Because then people aren't walking through your field the same way. You're not going to be as triggered by the energies of others. Other people aren't going to be in your field, right? So it gives yourself and your energy field a huge break. Now you're not experiencing the energies of everybody around you. And you can decide at home, depending on how many people you live with or where your home is. How far do I open my energy field at home? Well, if you have a spouse, you're probably fine. You're probably fine, right? But you want to be able to bring it in and expand it. Bring it in and expand it based on where you're going to be, out in the world or in nature, or maybe at home, or someplace quiet, someplace less busy. And it's always your choice about when and how far you bring it in, how often you want to do this. But I know that people that I have shared this with have felt huge differences. It doesn't mean you don't feel everybody anymore, but it lets you manage when there are too many people around, when there are too many energies. It also lets you manage that, let's say you're in the office and there's people around, but you might have your own space, but your coworker is really upset about something, and you don't want to feel that. You can bring that in. You're still going to experience it on a human level because you're going to be hearing them and seeing them, but energetically, you don't have to be processing it. And many people who are empathic have come up with the belief that you need to process those energies for someone else, and you don't. You don't. They're not yours. You don't have to process them, right? Just bring your field in closer. Bring your field in closer. Let it expand when you're at home, or let it expand when you're in nature, or let it expand in a place that you feel safe in, right? Maybe it's, when you're in an activity that's really fun and everybody's energy is high. Maybe you're going to a dance lesson and everybody in the class is great and loves dancing. And if you can decide then how far you open your energetic field, your auric field, and allow the energies in. Okay. So which questions do you have on that? And again, even if you're not empathic, you can still increase and decrease your auric field, the expansion of it, based on what's happening around you, right? You can still do that to make things easier, to make things easier. And again, what you're going to do is you're always, when your field is large and when you're learning, you're always going to ask, is this mine? Because you don't have to process it, you don't have to keep it. And then you can bring your own field in closer, in closer. All right. So I thought today, and I will answer, you're welcome to write in any questions. I'll answer them near the end. And I think today what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an 8-minute download. I'll just put my little timer on here. And we're going to do a download today of new Venation. A new Venation is a new energy that's been on the planet a couple of years now. It's brought through by a being called Karila, and she is part of the council who is going to be replacing Mother Gaia eventually as our planet ascends as well. Okay, so it makes sense. We're moving into a new dimension as a people and a planet, and it makes sense that there will be a new being of light to carry the energies as we move into higher levels of vibration and unity consciousness. And so it won't be a single being anymore, it'll be a collective that will be holding the energies, and Karila is part of that. So one of the new energies that she is bringing forth is we've picked the name and called it New Venation. So it is partly the energies of rejuvenation, okay, that all of us know about, but it's something else, extra, something added for the future for all of us. So we call it New Venation. All right. So let's close our eyes. I will set the timer on and we're going to do an 8-minute download. And every time you listen to this, you can receive the download. Okay. But please not when you're driving. Okay. All right. Eyes closed. And I will move into the silence as I start to bring it in. Okay. I'll mute myself here and just receive. Okay. So just feel as we just start, I call forth on Karila and the vibration of new Venation. And if it's too strong for you, just ask that it be reduced. Okay. And I'm going to mute myself now. All right. I hope you received and felt that. That's the vibration we call new Venation. All right. So, a couple of questions or comments here. Great information to help us keep our energy body clean. All right. I've been learning to block or protect, but there are some days, ugh. Thank you very much. I like this concept. So, just want to talk for a minute about protection and blocking. And I understand that lots of people do it, and I understand why. But what my guides have always taught me that the best protection you can have is to raise your own vibration. The higher your vibration, the more you hold the vibrations of love and peace, then that is the protection that becomes its own protection. So just be careful with the words because protection is very fear based, right? So I'm afraid, so I have to protect myself. And I'm not saying to not do it. I'm just saying be aware of the energetics behind it. Because if you can say, well, I want to vibrate at the highest level today, I want to hold the vibration of peace or the vibration of joy or the vibration of love, then you're automatically putting yourself in a higher vibration, in a more protected space. Okay. And then another says the beautiful painting behind this one depicts the same, is bringing the expanded energy closer and more to a point. Yeah, it's quite beautiful, isn't it? So this painting behind me is an original by Autumn Sky. She is a British Columbia, Canada artist, and you can take a look at her website, Autumn Sky, and she's an absolutely magical painter who is also wide awake and works intuitively with her paintings. So um, she's really fantastic. So I feel really blessed to have. And this one is called Genesis. And for me, it represents the diamond light that we work with the alchemy. All right. So a couple of things I want to share with you, especially for those of you that are empaths. The Lemurian light cloak on my website is an absolute help to all of you, to all of us. I use it every day, as does Christian. And what it is, it's a 1 hour recording where the Lemurians come and help you create a light cloak that helps. I use the word protect, though I don't often reduce the amount of energies you're receiving from other people when you step out of the home. So it doesn't, if you're triggered by someone, it doesn't prevent any of that. But if someone's in a bad mood and they're nearby you, it protects you and reduces the amount of that energy that comes in. And I've seen a significant difference on the days I forgot to wear it. So it's an energetic cloak. You create it in listening to this 1 hour meditation, and then you simply call on it every time you step out the door. Okay. So and that's in my shop in sparklesoflove.love. And if you haven't taken the new Accelerated Awakening quiz on my website, I'd encourage you to. It's really kind of fun, but it really shows you no matter what your spiritual belief is and whether you work with energies or you work more with shamanic or you work more with all kinds of different things like wherever, fairies or dragons, what it shows you is what path gets you moving the fastest. Okay. Um, and so that's on my websites and on the front page. And then I'll just let you know that on September 14th, so if you're listening before then, I have a 1 day, it's called Moving into Your Ascension workshop. It's all recorded. So if you're listening to this after September 14th, 2024, it will be in our shop. And the guides have come through and given me the title and information beforehand, which I don't often have. And it's all about creating and building a safe, energetic space for yourself. I can't tell you more than that. That's all I know, but I'm sure it will be pretty profound. All right. And that you can book also on my website. So a couple other comments here. Yes, agreed. I've had days like that and working on consistency. I wondered if the Lemurian cloak would be helpful. I use mine all the time. Yeah, it is absolutely a big, big help. All right. Well, I hope you have a most fabulous day and get some practice in bringing your energetic fields in and out. Take it out in nature, bring it in if you're going to be busy. And I think you'll see a big difference. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.